There is an experiment inside Google Labs called Learn About. It mixes Google Search, Gemini, and learning principles to create an interactive way to explore almost any topics. And today we are going to take a first look together at Learn About. Hi, I am PixelPia and this is Creative AI Explorer. As I said, today we are returning to Google Labs and the application Learn About. This is a generative AI learning tool inside Google Labs. This video is not a tutorial. Instead, I am simply exploring this tool with you. And since I have been a teacher all my adult life, this is something I am very interested in to see what possibilities the app has. So with that said, let's move over to my computer. So here we are in labs.google.com and we have to scroll down to view all and we even have to click see more. And you see how many apps they have. Here we found Learn About, an easier way to learn new topics at your own pace using conversational AI. And we click try it now. And this is the very first page. What would you like to learn about? And you can write your prompt here. You can upload an image or a PDF reader. They have the reading nook, which I will come back to. These are some PDFs to try out. And then they have some examples here. History. What is the history of chocolate? Technology, social science, culture, biology, math, economics, technology. A lot of different topics here. And let's try one of them. This is an interesting question. Does the color red mean the same thing in every country? Uncover the fascinating symbolism of colors in different cultures, from mourning to celebration, and how they reflect our world views. So we click on that. And this is basically how the layout looks for the already made topics and even your own. So does the color red mean the same thing in every country was the base question. And then it says, no, the meaning of the color red varies significantly across different countries and cultures. And you can see, you can extend it here and you can find the links they used for searching. And then they have an interactive list, meaning of red around the world. And they have few examples here. As you can see, the same color can hold opposite meanings in different parts of the world. And then they have a stop and think. And here, considering how the meaning of a single color like red can vary so much globally, think about how this might impact international communication and marketing. What are some potential pitfalls company might face if they don't research color symbolism in their target market? And the question they ask us, how can lack of understanding of color symbolism negatively affect international advertising campaigns? And you can tap to reveal the answer. On the left hand side here we have understand the color symbolism is not universal, and you can click on one of those to see cultural reality, and it goes through that one. And after reading it and looking at the images, you can choose simplify, go deeper, or get images and some follow-up questions. And then we have a part describe how cultural factors influence cultural meaning, historical context, religious belief, and cultural tradition. On the left top here you can see the chat. You see I have two because I tried the PDF before I started filming. We're gonna go to that next, but we can also click new chat, and if I refresh the page we get back to we see the book chat. And I had clicked on this the Alice in Wonderland PDF. So let's click on that again. So here we have the whole PDF, and we would have, let's say I upload the PDF on my own that I want to learn. It would look like this. And then we have, before you start, we have some background about the era when it was written, about nonsense literature. They explain croquet because that's a big part of the book, Mad Hatter, and playings. And analysis, that's the part where you can get an analysis of the story in this case. So if we click on the first one, Alice changing size, follow Alice's physical transformation throughout the story. So let's click on that. And here it is going through the pages, and you can see here exactly where she changes size. Page 10, page 11, page 11. Okay, I want you to be able to hear that too. So let me pause. Okay, I had to stop and restart the recording because I want for you to be able to hear this. So there you have the analysis of this and the problem. What prevents Alice from entering the garden? And you can find the answer here. Let's take a look at encounter with peculiar characters, the logic or lack thereof of Wonderland. And you can add your own question. So let's say, what symbolism do we find in the story? And now it's generating answers, for example, on page 8, page 10. And you see all my topics are saved here. If I want to go back to learn about, and I should have everything saved here. So let's click on Does Read. And here we have that study guide. Let's ask a question of our own. And let's start simple. Why do we have 4 seasons? So here we have Earth has 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn, fall, and winter. Primarily because its axis is tilted relative to its orbit plane around the sun. And it's the same model with more interactive reading here, and stop and think, some common misconceptions, explore more, and simplify, go deeper, and get images. Let's see what happens if we choose simplify. Let's say that this is grade 5, 6, maybe. Imagine the Earth is like a spinning top that's a little bit wobbly. The wobble or tilt is the main reason we have seasons. The Earth is tilted at an angle, and as it goes around the sun throughout the year, different parts of the Earth get more direct sunlight. We can simplify it again just to see what that entails. Imagine the Earth is a ball that's leaning a little bit to one side. As this leaning ball travels around the sun, the parts that leaning towards the sun gets more sunlight and warmth, and that's summer. What is the main reason we have season? And we have a 2-part choice here. So as you see, it can be adjusted to the difficulty level you need. I think this could be perfect for 4th grade maybe to learn about this. Let's go back to the very beginning and ask a more difficult question this time. I would like to learn how to write a JavaScript. Let's say I would like to learn how to make a script for my website. You would like to learn how to write JavaScript. That's a great goal. Writing JavaScript involves understanding its basic syntax, how to create variables, and how to use functions and other structures to make your code perform action. JavaScript is a versatile language used primarily for making web pages interactive. And then we have the different parts you need to know: syntax, variables, functions, and statements. So let's go in and see what it has to say about syntax. And we have them here too, key concepts. So here we have it. In the context of computer programming, Syntax refers to the set of rules that defines the combination of symbols that are considered to be correctly structured programs in a specific language. And then it has a common misconception and then comprehension check. Let's check your understanding of the difference between syntax and semantics. In your own words, what's the difference between a syntax error and a semantic error in a programming language? I can follow up here with different parts. I think for me and the way I learn, I would like to get images, for example. Semantics error. Okay, I would like to get images of this part about syntax here. See. Well, I think with these alternatives, get images, go deeper, simplify, this can be adjusted to your personal learning style. We are going to do one more example, a new chat. So what I wrote is, I am going to Sweden for the holiday. Can you teach me some common phrases that can be useful? I am Swedish and know Swedish, but that's why I picked Swedish, because I can control and identify if this is correct. And it says, certainly, learning a few basic Swedish phrases can greatly enhance your experience when traveling to Sweden for the holidays. While many Swedes speak excellent English, knowing some key phrases shows respect for the local culture and can be very helpful. And first we have a list of essential Swedish holiday phrases. And let's see here. God jul. Okay, that is correct. Jul is the Swedish word for Christmas. What I miss here, oh, we have a little video. Okay, that was okay, but I would really prefer to have just audio in here. That is something that's missing. This list would be perfect if we had an audio file. We have more references to videos and other website, and this was when I chose God Jul, and we can follow up, but unfortunately we don't have audio here. So let's see if we can follow up. So I wrote, can you add some pronunciation audio files? Adding audio to demonstrate pronunciation is a great idea. While I can't directly provide audio files within the response format, I can give you resources that offer audio pronunciation. And that is a video, another website, and then where can I find a good online Swedish dictionary with audio? So I would have loved if they added audio to this. And I think when I evaluate this, I will send that to Google as something they could add. Especially when it's about language, I think audio files would be almost necessary. So you don't have to leave the site for that. My learn about save here. If I want to delete it, for example, I am going to Sweden. I don't need that, so I can delete that one. But my very first impression is I think this is a tool that can be helpful regardless of which learning style that fits you the best. It has many possibilities, but it also has some things to wish for right now. But what do you think? Go ahead, go to labs.google.com and try it for yourself. This was a first look at Learn About. What do you think? Have you tried it? If so, I would love for you to share your impressions in the comments down below. In my next video in this series, we are moving back to AI Studio, where I will show you an app, my very first app I created, which is a YouTube thumbnail creator. So if that is something you're interested in, by now you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified. I'm looking forward to see you in my next video. Until then, and as always, stay curious. Bye.